On July 27, 2023, officers were dispatched in response to a report of child neglect. It was reported that 2 children, ages 9 and 2, had been left alone overnight and into the following day. Upon arrival, officers were met at the door by the 9-year-old who was visibly distressed, crying, shaking, and speaking on the phone with her grandmother. Officers immediately observed that the apartment was in a severe state of disarray, making it difficult to navigate through the space. Throughout the residence, there were visible signs of drug and cigarette use. Additionally, officers found training toilets in both an upstairs bedroom and the living room, both containing human waste. The 2-year-old child was found to have urinated through her clothing and appeared visibly dirty and unkempt. Given the circumstances, officers took custody of both children until their grandmother arrived to take responsibility for them. Several hours later, officers were finally able to make contact with the children's mother, who later appeared for questioning.
Alexa? Okay, could you come with us, please?
Are you dad? Yeah, we're getting. Okay. Okay. It's gonna be a few minutes, if you don't mind hanging out.
Yeah, I can hang out. Just here to support her and bring her down.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it. So.
All
All right. I'm back. Okay. Just so you're aware, our cameras are on. So.
Go ahead.
Direct you upstairs here. Some chairs on my desk. We're not all squeezed in.
Okay, because of the circumstances, you're at the PD, you're in the interview room, I have to advise you of your rights. It's a bit of a formality, but not something I have to do. Do you understand each of these rights I've explained to you?
I do.
Having these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to us now? Okay, so...
I am getting a lawyer, but yeah.
Sure, okay, so...
Do you want to have them here, or you said you kind of already know what's going on, right? So I kind of explained it to you on the phone,
Right.
Right.
What is your guys' extent? What's the definition of extended?
What do you mean extended?
Like extended period of time. I understand what I did.
Okay.
Not right, but
Okay. So
what is an extended like?
So the statute varies.
What is
There's factors that go into it. There's the totality of what's called the totality of the circumstances. I mean, for one, the mental state of the child itself, the age.
Just speaking with her, like literally minutes, like the entire time. I was gone for 3 hours. That's what is your definition of extended?
So you're saying you were gone for 3 hours?
I left at 1 minute. She was asleep. Yes.
Sorry, when? That's
She was
when?
like around 1, I'm assuming.
And what time? Like in the afternoon, 1 in the
Yes,
morning?
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll be honest with you. That's not what we.
No, I
Okay.
I did leave the night before I came back home.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she was still.
No, they were not. They were, yeah.
Okay.
So you're saying you left at 1, but you came back?
Yeah, absolutely. I talked to my neighbor. She was right next door to me and told her, I was like, hey, keep an eye on them. She was in the shower when you guys were there. And I was like, how did you miss that? And yeah.
And then,
That's why I was asking.
How did you miss that?
My neighbor.
Okay.
My next door neighbor. We were best friends in high school. She happens to be my neighbor. And
Okay.
I told her, like, hey, I'm keeping an eye on them. I'll be right. I planned on being right back, but. And that's my dad reading my ride, and what also took so long, which I spoke with you about. Yeah, that's why I didn't know your guys' definition of extended. Regardless, she's 9 years old. An hour is too long, but that was like max what it was supposed to be, and yeah.
Well, regardless, like you said.
Like I said, regardless.
I mean, it is what
No,
it is.
and I fully yes, but.
Okay. So in generally speaking, a 9-year-old cannot take care of a 2-year-old and might be left unattended, right?
Sure.
So that's where the charge comes.
Legally, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
legally.
Yeah,
Yep.
legally.
And given the conditions that the house was in,
Mm-hmm.
right? The fact that the 2-year-old was soiled, she had urinated through her diaper, through her clothes, been an extended period of time, clearly since the diaper's been changed, right? Reasonably so, right?
Yeah.
And-
And her dad bought her size 3 diapers because he's a dumbass. She wears size 5 diapers.
Okay.
So that also doesn't help. But
Sure,
no,
but
absolutely,
you understand
absolutely.
what we're
No,
coming from,
absolutely,
okay?
100%. 100%.
Cannabis is illegal, but there's a cannabis pipe that's on the couch. You know, there's burnt cigarettes that are also on the couch. There's,
Yeah, sure, that's
you know what I'm saying?
probably- yeah.
There's a lot of things that went
No, of
into
course, of course.
the investigation, and unfortunately,
That's
you know,
what
we have to take action as law enforcement officers.
Right.
We
Yeah,
have
mandated
to,
report. No, I understand, absolutely.
and we as officers have that right to then take children into protected custody and notify DCFS if there's no way for them to be cared for at that time, right? So, and that's exactly what we did. So we've been on the phone, we were on the phone and, correct? And they helped take care of the girls occasionally. So have you been contacted by DCFS at all
No.
yet? Or have you been in contact with or?
I've tried to call her multiple times.
Okay.
Yeah.
DCFS is obviously gonna have an investigation.
Well, yeah.
So here's, and I'll lay this out to you, okay? So speaking, when we first got there, if you were home,
I just
okay, well, I mean,
No, I know,
we
I know.
saw like the messages and
Right,
stuff,
yeah,
everything
yes.
there, but we also saw the Snapchat at midnight.
that was, and then I came home literally like
What time did you come home in the morning?
I was picking my cousin up. She works at Central Avenue Tech in
Okay.
Denver. She got off around like 1, and she goes by down early, dropped her off, and went home. And they were asleep.
Okay,
Yeah, they were up for a while, so they obviously slept in. But yeah,
okay.
no, you can talk to my neighbor. I mean, she can attest to that.
So after you dropped her off at 1, about what time would you say you got back?
Last night?
What would have been this morning?
No, I mean, technically, I guess, but like, I dropped my cousin off at home. She lives 5 minutes away from me, and went home with her. Directly home. But no, I talked to her right for like around like 1 today, p.m. And hey, I'll be right back because that was the plan. And here we are.
So once you got back, what'd you do after that? Once you got dropping her off,
I went home, went to sleep.
and then did you leave again
At 1 in the afternoon the next day, yes.
on the afternoon?
The next day, yes.
So today.
Yeah.
Okay, so you left at 1.
So does
but,
me is gone all night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a
Oh,
report, yeah.
no.
So who
Absolutely
who
not,
can
no.
confirm what you're telling us? Okay.
Absolutely.
Because you understand where.
That
But
makes
we're-
a complete difference. Her
Right.
thinking, yeah, oh, absolutely. And no,
Because I mean that's how it appears, given the circumstances of.
that's not, no, not at all.
Okay.
No.
I'm
No, I
telling
know,
you
I
for-
get that,
for our
I get that. And
investigation,
her
you know,
assuming that, yeah, no, yeah. But,
she's asleep or she's awake when you left. She's asleep when you got home.
Yeah.
She's still asleep when you left
they
again.
were not, both of them, yeah, they were up.
So when she wakes up,
I mean,
she has
I
no
woke her
idea.
up. No, I woke her up, but she's half asleep, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
but she said they had not eaten anything.
I have plenty of food in my house. She wanted me to bring her Taco Bell, and that's really what
Sure,
she was
I saw the Taco Bell.
Yeah, she wanted Taco Bell, that's why. I have plenty of food in my house. She had plenty of access to food. That's not a problem, no.
Okay.
So,
Well, the problem is she's 9 years old.
no,
You know what I'm
absolutely,
saying?
absolutely. That makes a huge difference. I mean, wrong is wrong regardless, but I'm not that damn wrong, no.
So, we've never met you, so.
No, I
we don't
know.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
mean, when we get there and she's distraught, so yes, like think about what we're walking into,
Oh,
walking
yeah,
into,
yes,
you know.
yes. And she's a 9-year-old girl that literally was just speaking. But you've seen that, I don't know.
Right, but I mean, like you acknowledged. Doesn't
Wrong
matter.
is wrong, no, absolutely.
Doesn't matter if
Absolutely,
it's 15 minutes
absolutely.
or if it's,
Right.
15 hours, as it appeared,
No.
right?
No. But 15 minutes,
Right.
right.
Has stuff like this happened before?
No.
Is that-
Yeah, we'll sit with each
Watching
other's
kids?
kids, I'll sit with her kids, absolutely, absolutely.
She's in an apartment.
Yeah, literally my next door neighbor, we were best friends in high school.
Does she have kids?
She has 2 girls.
About the same age or
They're a little bit older than mine, but yeah.
a little bit younger?
Yeah.
Is there anybody else that would have come and gone from the, or did you have anybody else with you, or?
I dropped my cousin off, and
Yeah.
no,
But nobody else came back to the apartment or anything like that? Okay. Was that a last minute thing to go pick her up, or was that?
no.
Okay.
She didn't have a car, got struck at work, and yeah, that was definitely last minute. And next time we're gonna find Uber. I don't know.
Was Allie aware that you were gonna be leaving that night to take care of the kids?
Yeah.
Okay. You talked to her about it specifically?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the next
Like through text or through phone conversation, or just
No, I just not talking to her. Yeah.
Okay. And she was up at 1 a.m.?
Yeah. Well, I heard her kid crying, and so I knew she was up. So just ran over there. I mean, like I said, we're best friends in high school. And she messaged me on Facebook, was like, "Hey, I think you're marrying your neighbor." So like, it's nice, you know.
Does he watch your kids pretty often? Or-
I wouldn't say often, but like if we're gonna run somewhere
You
or
just say,
whatever,
just
yeah, I
say,
mean, she's right next
okay.
door, you know. It's convenient and it helps. So
How old are
she knows her, yeah. She plays with her daughter. And like I said, they're a little bit. You know, she's used to being around. Her friends are either way younger or way older. So our youngest daughters are about the same age, and
Do you have any other open DCFS cases?
No.
Okay.
No.
We just saw a DCFS letter that was right there in the doorway.
that was
I didn't
old.
read it.
No, that was old, and it was an unfounded case.
Okay.
So
Do you remember the circumstances of that?
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was unfounded. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so just going back through, you go to pick her up, your cousin,
Yep. The second one.
at 1 o'clock
Mm-hmm.
from the bar in Bettendorf, Central Staff.
Right over the bridge. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. She got clothes right down there. They were
And
slow.
where does she live? Where do you drop her off?
Like probably 5, 10 or so. She lives East Moline.
East Moline?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you dropped her off, and then went.
Went home.
How long do you think that whole thing took? From going to pick her up at 1-ish. The bar's closed at 1?
She got clothes on early, so yeah. Like 30 minutes. I ran the trash out with her, and we immediately left and dropped her off. Didn't even get out of my car. I didn't even get put in park, and went home.
So you'd say you were at home like maybe like 1:30.
1:45ish, yeah. 13.
They have decent cameras at the.
At the bar? Yeah.
No, I mean at the apartment complex, Highland Manor.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So they'll be able to see coming and going, times, confirm what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Okay. What was wrong with the car?
I'm still trying to figure that out. Her boyfriend is dealing with that as we speak. I hit a deer and it my car up.
So just go when you got back, you just went to bed pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
And the girls were asleep at that time?
Mm-hmm.
What time do you think you woke up today?
I'm not sure. Not really, honestly. From
Where were the girls sleeping in the house? Were they in the living room or upstairs? Okay, on the couch. Both of them?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're snuggle buddies.
And what time did you said you left at 1 o'clock today?
Around that time,
Okay.
yeah.
And where did you go this afternoon?
Where did I go this time? I was supposed to let her take my car, and she was supposed to drop me back off at home. I was letting her borrow my car.
Who was her? Okay.
Yeah.
So she was gonna borrow your car today.
Yeah,
today,
take it and drop me back off at home.
Okay. And then what happened?
It stalled out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where is that at?
It was like shortly leaving her apartment.
Okay. In East Moline.
Yeah, it was not far.
Where were you at when we started talking?
I walked to her apartment.
You were at her apartment in
Yeah,
East Moline?
yeah.
Okay.
I would have just walked home if I knew, like, but I mean, that would have been a hell of a walk, but still.
Who was the ride that you said you were going to get? You said that you had a ride, but then...
My friend, but he had to go to work, and so thankfully my dad is in town.
Where's your dad from?
He's from here, but we just took a job out in Colorado, and he's
Okay.
in town for my birthday. And,
Okay.
yeah.
The number that we're communicating on, that's the best number to contact you?
That's my cell phone,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So you're going to be getting a call from DCFS?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
Because as of right now, there's a safety plan in place. Okay. So there's a plan set up by DCFS while they conduct their investigation to make sure that the girls have adequate safety and supervision. Okay.
I haven't signed no safety plan.
No, I understand.
No, I haven't signed one, so there's not a safety plan set in place.
DCFS has done a safety plan. I can get you a contact number for the caseworker.
No,
there's-
yeah. I'm just, what does that entail?
They will conduct their investigation and determine whether or not, basically, that you're fit to take care of them at that point, right? So until that point, until they make their final decision and it goes to court, then they...
Court?
Well, not necessarily the criminal case, but the family court matter. So they decide and they get an
Oh my
order
God.
for the children to go into different custody. That's kind of where things are at as of now. So that has nothing to do with us. That's DCFS, right? And we are, like I said, like you said,
And I
we
guess,
are
no, they can
mandatory
do
reporters.
safety recommendations and they can recommend all they want, but there's not a safety plan,
Well, Dylan was also involved. Dylan was here.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Dylan showed
And
he
made it
has,
sound real good, of course.
well, I didn't speak with him.
Okay.
I mean, just gave him the synopsis
Of
of what's
course,
going on,
yeah.
right? You guys have 50-50?
I have custody, he has visitation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys,
50-50.
do you guys have copies of that paperwork somewhere?
I do,
Okay.
yeah. I don't know.
So that's where things are at now. Like I said, you're going to be contacted by DCFS in the future. I can't say when.
It has to be within 24 to 48 hours. I'm not
And I'm sure they will contact you soon, tomorrow before the weekend. So.
Yeah. But as is a safety plan, but like there's no safety plan in place because nothing was signed by both parties. So like those kids.
So I can't speak to the practices of DCFS.
No, I mean I
what
can.
the
I
policy
know.
is. Sure.
I'm familiar. Like I've never personally had one. They can recommend.
But there's
it
also
or-
emergency circumstances where things have to be done without parental consent on both
No,
sides.
yeah, and I'm not. Yeah.
So, and given the circumstances and the facts that we have leading up to this, that's where things are at.
Okay, so what's up with my youngest daughter then?
The plan is that right now that they're both in the care of,
That's not her dad.
well, she's with your mom now. Both of them
She
are
has a
staying.
dad, and that's not. See, there is no safety. You understand what I'm saying? There is no. That's not a safety plan. That's not what they would do.
That's the plan that we have in place.
Yeah, well,
Okay. Not we, but DCFS.
she can go with her dad. She don't even. Yeah, she has a dad.
Well,
But
you can talk to DCFS about that one.
well,
Okay.
I would have to talk to my mom.
Okay.
That's not a safety. That's not.
Again, I mean, we
No.
can split hairs on what the verbiage is or what the course of action is, but that's where things are as of
No,
now.
and I get that. Yeah.
So, anything else?
You guys conduct. Yeah, do what you gotta do, and I'm sure they will too. But
Okay, so we're gonna do all we're gonna do all the booking here, and then we'll give you a court date.
It's not like the old
Yeah.
days where you sit
Yeah.
in jail for misdemeanor. This is
Yeah, we just.
not that I want to go to jail or anything, but that's crazy. I don't know. When they pass that, that'd be first of the year.
These laws came into effect about 2019.
Kind of feel like not good.
Not that bad.
Not quite.
No, but like bad.
Crimes
and
against
stuff.
people, felonies, still go to jail.
Really? I see. I
Domestic
see.
battery still
They
goes
do.
to
Is
jail.
it? They make it sound bad. Like you can. I don't know. I see stuff on the news or like people on videos that are like, you can Illinois, you can do rape, kill, whatever, not go to jail.
That's not really the case.
I would hope not.
So,
No.
yeah, so
I would
we'll
hope
go
not.
downstairs, we'll get through the paperwork, and then you'll be free to go. You'll have a court date.
And when will that be?
We'll get to that. Yes, you gotta, like I said, fill out all the paperwork.
Okay. So you have a court date on the 28th of August. If you'd come over here, please, and sign. You read here, this is just goes over explaining everything. You know, you're no bond, you're just gonna have it's just that a notice that you're gonna appear on the 28th.
Questions, comments, concerns, something?
Okay, we'll let you out the back.
Yeah, I know.
Who are you out front?
Yeah, that's good. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Just make sure that you answer the phone tomorrow. Okay?
Give money over tomorrow.
The woman was charged with 2 counts of endangering the life or health of a child. Share your thoughts below and remember to like and subscribe for more videos.